If you're a young person and you grew up with this notion that the lack of money is your problem, that is a big lie. What you're about to hear from this video is not the conventional talk you hear from all these motivational speakers telling you that the reason you're broke is because you don't have money. This whole chain, who didn't make money from it? You. Who started the whole chain? You. In this video, I'm going to reveal the brutal truth to you. It's not because you don't have money. It's because you're lacking this vital thing. Most of us believe the reason you're broke is because you don't have money. But then poverty or brokenness comes in different levels. Someone can be with ₦1 million, but they are still broke or they are still poor because they don't know how to spend it. So if you isolate the concept of being rich just to the availability of money in your bank account, then you have to upgrade your programming. The reason you're broke or the reason you're poor is not because you don't have money. It's because you're lacking this vital thing, skills. What made me my first ₦1 million was skills. And in this video, I'm going to be outlining 3 major skills that you can learn and start with to pave your path to making your first ₦1 million or your first 6 figures in your local currency. The beautiful thing about skills is you can learn most of them without paying. Skills are somewhat free to learn. The basic skills or the basics of any skill is absolutely free anywhere. You can go on YouTube, browse for these certain skills, learn the basics, put them to practice, make a little money from it, and then you cannot advance or you cannot level up. But the truth is, there are some skills that just by mastering the basics, you're good to go. You can make as much money as possible. Look, these 3 skills are not the only skills that would make you your first million. These are just a part. Pick one, major on it, learn it. Most of the people you see making multi-millions, 6 figures or 7 figures, they didn't just learn one skill. So when they tell you this is the particular skill, the only skill that can make you rich, it's not necessarily true. Because when I started out, during the process of my journey, I had to pick up sub skills to build up my skill stack. All right. So what will make your first ₦1 million is not exactly one skill. It's just a compilation of skills that you systematically deploy to make you your money. So the first skill you should learn as a young person is the closing skill. And what is closing skills? Closing is basically talking to someone persuasively. Your ability to persuade someone to do something is what we call the closing skill. And how can this help you? I always say it, most of you already know that's what I majorly preach. If you're a young person and you really want to make a lot of money, you just need to learn how to sell. Learn how to sell. So how does closing relate to selling? Closing in the business term is the final step of the sales process. All right. So the sales process still involves lead generation, nurturing, and closing. But if you're good enough at closing, these other processes are things that you can learn on the go. Closing is something I learned first before I moved on to learning how to generate leads and how to nurture them. All right. So closing comes in different ways. You could be closing in person, or you could be closing over a call, or you could be closing over a chat. The most effective amongst these 3 are over the call and in person, because over the chat is mostly if you're closing little deals, right? So when you're starting out, pick up a product. I always tell people the best thing to do as a young person is learn affiliate marketing, because they think, and whenever I say these things, most of you think, I'm trying to push you towards this particular business and everything. No, if you understand the process of creating your product, creating the sales funnel, handling the fulfillment of that product, you would understand that affiliate marketing is like a cheat code for you, because someone has done the whole process of creating the product, creating the sales funnel, and they are still in charge of the fulfillment, meaning that all you just need to do is pick up a product, show to somebody, they buy it, and then whatever goes on from that place is now for the course creator. So the course creator is the one that is in charge of giving access to that person, checking up on the person. You don't have to do anything again. All right. So if you want to learn how to sell properly, you can't escape closing. So one of the tips you need to understand is this trick is what a lot of people miss. When you start learning closing is of course getting on the call with somebody and persuading that person to buy your product. So when you get on a call with somebody, now I'm majoring on the call part because that's the easiest one you can start with. You can't setting up a meeting with someone to meet with them and close them. Getting on a call is one of the quickest ways you can learn closing. So while you're watching this video, let me tell you this. If you want to get very good at closing, you can never become a master at closing if you have not gotten on at least 50 calls. There was a period of my life where every single day I got on at least 3 calls with different people. All right. So that time I was running ads. So these people were just coming to my DM. It's not a must to run ads. Generate leads organically. Make sure you're talking to at least 3 people over the phone. See, you're not getting on this call to make your sale. That's the mistake most people make. When you learn a skill, you try to practice that skill to get immediate output from it. If you're practicing how to close, before you make money from closing, make sure you've gotten on at least 50 different calls, 50 calls with different people. That is when you can now position yourself as an average closer. So any sale you make within these 50 calls, rule it out as luck. Until you've gotten good at picking with someone on the phone, you're not yet good at closing. So the first thing you need to understand is, when you get on a call with somebody, listen. That's the trick. That's the biggest caveat that a lot of people miss. Listen. What listening enables you to do is, you cannot solve a problem that you're not aware of. If you're not aware you're sick, nothing will just prompt you to go to the hospital to do a checkup, except the Holy Spirit helps you. You're not aware of the problem this person is facing. How do you want your product to be a solution? You can only know that this is the way your product can solve this if you listen and understand what this person is talking about. That's the first thing. Listen. The next thing you should do is ask questions. Now, when asking questions, it's mostly advisable to be with a pen and paper when someone is talking, so that you remember what they said. When someone is telling you something, you might not get the whole details, but with the tone, the tonality, the emotion, when someone says, yeah, and I was scammed last year, there's way someone will say, and I was scammed last year, you would sense that this is the first time, or you will sense that this is the 10th time. The 10th time could be, and he will just heave and be like, and I was scammed last year again. You know, you get to understand this person, what this person wants, what this person has gone through, when you effectively listen. And when you listen, when you're done listening, 9 times out of 10, you have gotten everything you need to know about that person. The essence of asking questions is just to verify. And another trick in asking questions is to show the person that you were listening. So when someone tells you, yeah, and I was scammed last year, if you say, so when you were scammed last year, what did you do? It shows the person, oh, so you were listening to me. That's why you remember that I was scammed last year. Another trick you could use when you're closing is what we call mirroring or restatement. When it's in the physical meeting, the way people sit, mirror it, sit down the way they are sitting. If their left hand on top of their right lap, you put your left hand on top of your right lap. This just makes them feel comfortable. All right. When it's on the call, whatever they say, restate it. All right, repeat what they've said, state their words again, push it back to them, so that it shows them that you understand. When you say things back in their words, it's as if they are hearing themselves again. So now they understand that, oh, you understand what I'm saying. All right, that's the second thing. The third thing to do is objection handling. Now, when you get on the call, not everybody says, when you just tell them about your product, they say, oh yes, and they buy immediately. Most people have their reasons why they can't buy. Objections are basically reasons why people can't buy, reasons people give why they can't take action right now. All right, so you need to learn objection handling. That's another skill that's under closing. Objection handling is basically, oh, this person has said that they don't have time. How to handle that kind of objection is, you know, one of the ways I handle those kind of objections is like, oh, you don't have time. What takes your time? Again, you have asked the question, now you listen. They tell you, oh, in the morning I go to this, I go to that, I go to that. When they outline that, one thing you just need to understand that if people prioritize something, they will have time. The common answer, solution to that objection is showing them the urgency, how urgent it is to learn this now. All right, people, no matter how busy people are, they always eat. No matter how busy people are, they always sleep. No matter how busy people are, they always brush their teeth. Why? Because they understand that this is urgent. They prioritize it. So that objection, most objections are just you can solve majority of them just by positioning the product or the solution you have as urgent and make it a priority for them. Show them why it's a priority for them. All right. So that's just a crash course on closing. If you learn how to close, the best way to learn how to close is not by watching numerous YouTube videos or thousands of courses. It's basic. I'm just giving you the trick now. This is what helped me get very good at closing. Get on at least 50 calls, 50 to 100 calls before you can now position yourself and say you're a closer. The second skill is a bit controversial because most of you might say, oh, I'm not good at this, yada, yada, yada. Is public speaking. The reason I included this skill in this video is most people are afraid of public speaking, not necessarily because they don't know how to talk, but most times after observance, they are afraid of criticism. They are afraid of public scrutiny. So the reason you're not able to air your views, the reason you're not able to confidently talk about what you know, share your knowledge, is because you're afraid that someone might counter it. You're afraid that someone might say, oh, that's a lie. You're afraid that someone might disregard it. And one thing I want you to learn in this video is I'm not even going to teach you how to do public speaking, because that's another skill that is being learned hands-on with practice. These skills I'm giving to you now are not skills you learn just by sitting down and watching a video. They are skills that you can practice, and they are skills you can practice right now. You don't need any external thing to practice these skills. Public speaking, you can start from your room. I started learning public speaking. If I'm reading something or if I'm reading a book, I just start reading the book out loud like I'm a newscaster. You know, there are plenty of ways basically to ease yourself, to be comfortable in your skin when you're presenting. There are other tips like your hand gestures when you're on the stage. You know, when it all boils down to how you present yourself. So if you're in a place with a large gathering, the way you speak at a place with a large gathering is definitely not the way you speak at a place with a smaller gathering. So if you're a large gathering, you have to be wide, you have to open yourself. You know, when you're talking, your arms are out, your voice is loud. That would be so weird if you're doing it in a place of like 12 people or 13 people. All right. But basically get good at speaking, get good at sharing your knowledge. All right. You need, one thing I've recognized is most people that make the difference, that make impact. Now, if you're not public speaking, you can be doing something else and still make impact. But this is what majority of people that have made huge impact, they always know how to speak in public. What public speaking helps you do is you share your knowledge. It's leverage. All right. You share your thoughts, you share your opinions to a large number of people at once. That's what public speaking helps you. So instead of going from one person to another, trying to teach or trying to share a knowledge or trying to share an opinion, you could just do it once, large gathering, everybody hears you. If it's recorded, the better. All right. The people that make the most money are those that are going to be outside, those that you see their faces, because they are the ones that get the public scrutiny. They are the ones that get the criticisms. See, for you to make impact, yeah, you're not getting criticisms for what you do. That means you're not doing anything yet. That's what I want you to understand. So if you're afraid of criticisms, fear of criticism, then you've not started. Doing this, being in public. Public speaking is not just going on stages. It could be talking in front of your camera, opening a YouTube channel, making videos. That's public speaking. All right, because at the end of the day, a lot of people that are going to see the video. So if you're afraid of criticism, that is not even going to work out for you. Anything worth doing always comes with criticisms. People are going to hate. Tell me in the comment section, any celebrity that you know, any influencer that you know that doesn't have any criticism, zero haters. You won't. All right. So public speaking is a skill that is worth learning. And for you to make a difference, for you to make an impact, you should understand that first of all, you need to have a picture of the people you're here to serve. Because what makes criticisms get to a lot of people is they don't know who they are here to serve. So if you're here to serve this particular kind of people, and if you're here to serve old people and then young people are bashing you and you're being hurt by it, it means you don't understand yet. All right. So you need to have the people you're here to serve and know that you would always get positive if you look closely. There are some days that you feel like, oh, it's only bad comments you're getting, it's only negative comments you're here. Just look closely, listen. You would always hear those people that are very appreciative of what you're doing. All right. So the second skill you need to learn is public speaking. The third skill you need to learn is Facebook ads. And this is a very, very unpopular one because most young people, for some reason, think that Facebook ads is only for people that have their businesses running. Once you hear Facebook ads, a very complex skill comes to your mind. You're like, oh, I thought I escaped this. Let me paint this picture for you clearly so that you understand how much money is in Facebook ads. If you learn it. When people tell you jump into content creation, go and start creating videos, go and start doing this, go and start doing that, most of you fail to ask yourself this question. These platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, that are paying creators, where do they get their money from? If you know where these people get their money from, type it in the comment section. I want to hear it before I say it. All right. These big companies like YouTube, these big platforms, where do you think they get most of their money from? You think they pluck it and they just pay creators as much as 6-7 figures in dollars monthly, yearly? No, they get this money from ads. When other advertisers come on YouTube and pay YouTube to show a particular kind of audience this kind of video, Facebook advertisers come and they pay Facebook a certain amount daily, weekly, monthly to show the Facebook's audience this video. That's where people make money. Go on Facebook. You can't go through 5 posts or 5 reels without seeing at least one ad. Go on Twitter, any post that you see with a lot of engagement in the comment section, you must always see an ad. That's where these platforms make money. Now, why can't you be on the giver's end? Why must you always be on the receiving end? Most of you think that what you see on social media is what will make the government change their mind. When you're on social media ranting and saying a lot of nonsense, you are basically making money for the US government. When you rant, when you go and rant or start a commotion on Twitter or start a commotion on TikTok, and all people that rant with you, people that don't have job, come and start ranting under that comment section, you are creating traffic, you're creating engagement for that platform. Now that platform, people that have paid them money to run ads would say, oh, there's a lot of engagement on this post, run ads to it. So people come and place their ads there. You can't tell me 20,000 people commented in the comment section. Of course, there are some of you that go through comment sections without commenting. Meaning, let's say 20,000 people comment, at least 60,000 impressions are on that comment section. 60,000 impressions on that comment section, and you placed your ad strategically. There's no way they won't make at least 50 to 100 sales from that particular thing. You did your rants. When you're done with your ranting, the advertisers make money from the ad. The platform makes money from the advertisers. Now, these platforms also have a landlord. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg's landlord is Jeff Bezos. If you know this cloud service, the cloud is basically where you store information, a lot of information. So there's AWS, and it's owned by Jeff Bezos. So Mark Zuckerberg, to store all this information and people's biodata and information on Facebook, they have to upload it to this AWS server, and then they pay Jeff Bezos. So from the money that the advertisers paid Mark Zuckerberg, that's Facebook, they pay Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos, of course, has another landlord, the US government, because he has to pay taxes. Tell me in the comment section, this whole chain, who didn't make money from it? You. Who started the whole chain? You. So when I say learn Facebook ads, you need to understand the direction I'm coming from. All right? When you just pick up a basic product, like I said in the beginning, affiliate marketing, you could pick a basic product, learn Facebook ads, and it's very, very simple. It's not as complicated as you think. You could just, if you know how to set up your ads to run directly to your WhatsApp, that's something you can learn with a YouTube video. The complex part is now running to a sales page or direct to payment. Those are now complex ones, which you might not necessarily need right now. Learn how to run Facebook ads. That is a life-saving skill. So to recap, closing, public speaking, and Facebook ads are 3 skills that if you learn right now and start practicing, you can make your first ₦1 million from it. I've gotten a lot of DMs and comments from most of you saying, oh, you've watched my videos, you've learned a lot, you've seen the skills I talk about, but you just want to know the major one that I started with and you want to start with it, and the one that is even bubbling right now this year. All right, I've made a full 30 minutes video explaining this particular skill and how you can use it to make your first ₦1 million. I'll link the video in the description. So once you're done with this one, it's actually my best performing video. Once you're done with this one, make sure you go through it. I outlined, I even did the demo session, all right, showing how you can use this skill hands-on. I even made an opportunity available for those of you that want to work closer with me. If you love this video, hit the like button. If you want to be notified when I upload again, hit the subscribe button. Share this video with 3 of your friends that you want to get better with you. And as always, where you are right now is not your final destination. I shall see you at the top. For now, Lucky Now represents.